Hello guys, we're going to do a test. This is going to be a boot up basically test to see which is the quicker. Now on the right we have an iMac 2013 i5 running 4 cores at 3.4 GHz, 24 GB of RAM, right? On my left there's a Mac Pro, 2009 aluminium body, running 12 cores, 2 processors, Xeons at 2.9 GHz. So, and it's got 32 GB of RAM as well. So basically, we're going to do a boot up test. Now, the 2009 Mac Pro, I've basically put a bit of life into it by putting an SSD, which is a Kingston SSD 2.5 drive. So I'm going to do a boot up test to see which boots up the quicker. Conventional hard drive obviously should be slower, however it is slightly faster in processing speed. The older machine, the Mac Pro, obviously has an SSD in, so it will speed things a little bit up for it. So I would say we're probably on an even playing field really, but let's do a test and let's see which boots up quicker. So the Mac Pro is booted up and it's ready to go basically. The iMac, we're still waiting on that. Let's just see if we're able to click on it. And there you go. So it is quicker, the Mac Pro, even though it seems to be behind, it quickly catches up with the SSD drive. So let's do a shutdown test so you guys can see how quickly we can shut the systems down. So let's get it ready to shut down. 3, 2, 1, go! Three, two, one, go! So it's about even in terms of shutting down. Hello guys, I'm going to do another test with the 2013 iMac 27 inch 3.4 GHz i5 quad core processor with 24 GB of RAM versus the Mac Pro, 12 cores, Xeon 2.9 GHz. I thought I'd do a bit of a test. It's got a 32 GB of RAM, so a bit more RAM, but it's running at 1333 Hz versus 1600 Hz on the iMac. So I'm going to do a few tests on seeing how quick and how responsive Final Cut Pro is, and Photoshop. I'm running on Mavericks. It's an older operating system, but maybe it'll give you a comparison, because the Mac Pro has an SSD drive in it and the iMac just has a conventional hard drive in it. But maybe it'd be insightful to see how quickly these programs actually, open. Let's have a look. So let's try and do a simultaneous click on both. Now, I do have a Time Machine backup from the iMac onto the Mac Pro, so it's everything that's on the hard drives is virtually identical, apart from the fact that the Mac Pro has a few more hard drives. So let's just click on Final Cut Pro and see how quick we can get it to open. So as you can see, it's certainly quicker on the Mac Pro with the SSD drive there. So let's close these down and let's have a go at opening Photoshop. Three, two, one, go. And there you go. So obviously the SSD is certainly quicker running that. So let's close that down again. Okay guys, in this video we're going to compare an old Mac Pro 2009 versus an iMac 2013. I'm going to compare the rendering speed. So this Mac Pro, this older one, has 12 Xeons in terms of cores versus the iMac's i5-4 cores. So we're just going to see how quickly they can render and see which is the better really. So I've got a 400 megabyte video file here from my 80D camera. We're going to drag it in there and see how quickly both machines can render that image, that video file. So let's just drag it across. Try and do it simultaneously. 1, 2, 3, go. And there you go, the Mac Pro has finished. The iMac is still going. Keep in mind the Mac Pro has an SSD Kingston drive in there, but we still haven't finished on the iMac, we're just waiting for that to finish. And there you go, we're finished. So you can see the Mac Pro is a little bit quicker with its 12 cores. So hopefully that gives you an indication how quick, an old system with an SSD can actually match a more modern day computer. Right guys, in this iMac versus Mac Pro test, I'm going to put some textile on a piece of video I've got, and we're going to see how quick the Mac Pro can render it versus the iMac. I'm going to try and do it as more or less the same time as I can, but hopefully this will give you an indication of which can render quicker. So let's just extend the text that I've already got here, which as you can see says ATD text video test. Let's see if the Mac Pro can beat the iMac. So all we need to do is just going to drag it across, and then hopefully we can do it at the same time, and we'll see which can do it quicker. 3, 2, 1, go. Very interesting, that test, guys. When I was looking at the rendering there, it was neck and neck, literally. Virtually they were as fast as each other. So it's interesting that 12 cores Xeon couldn't really beat a 4-core i5 in terms of rendering speed. But they were about neck and neck, so I wouldn't say any machine is better than the other really in terms of being able to achieve a quick render. It does seem when you're importing video that the 12 core does better, and it does certainly render quicker. However, in that test where I was just testing a bit of text overlay over the video, it did seem to me they were more or less neck and neck in terms of speed, which is quite interesting because you consider the iMac's got 24GB of RAM and the Mac Pro's got 32. But then again, the iMac is quicker in terms of its top megahertz, which is 3.4 versus 2.9. So it's up to you which you think is the faster machine. Something I wanted to point out in a previous video where I've talked about why I was going to sell my iMac is something regarding time machine backup, and not many people, or certainly if you're new to Macs, won't actually know what that means. What a time machine backup is you're backing up your entire operating system, your programs. If you want to, you can copy all your data onto an external hard drive. So what you're doing is you're taking your operating system off your computer and popping it on a portable hard drive, which I would recommend you don't use, and you keep it safe and you put it somewhere safe. You know, if you're an employer, you might want to keep that off-site, so if there's a fire, you've always got a copy backup. Because don't underestimate how important the data you have on your computer is. Not just your personal data, your projects, your text projects, your work-related work, the operating system. You want to keep all your programs. You see all these programs on here. Basically, I bought an old iMac some years ago, and it came with a lot of programs, and I wanted to keep those programs. So when you do a time machine backup, you can keep all your programs, pop it onto your external hard drive, and then when you decide to get a new computer, you can back up from that portable hard drive to your new computer, and you keep all your programs. Now the problem is with Apple's new operating systems that they keep coming out, such as Syria, High Syria, old ones like Lion, Mavericks that people liked. Some programs that were made for earlier operating systems may not work on the new operating systems. That's why I've kept Mavericks, because a lot of these programs, such as the Final Cut Pro version I've got here, won't work on Syria or High Syria. So unfortunately, it sometimes is a matter of backing up your old software onto a new computer, and you're more than able to do that. It's not an issue. But I just wanted to point out how important Time Machine is. I can't tell you how many times a backup Time Machine has saved all my work. I've backed it up on average once every 6 months, because you can continually do new backups onto the external hard drive. And when something happens, say the operating system just refuses to work for some reason, there's something that's corrupting it or something that's a problem, you can go to that backup and do a complete restore from it and do a brand new reinstallation of your backup onto your machine, and it should solve your problem. So it's very important that you keep that Time Machine backup safe somewhere, and then you can use it whenever you need to save the day, as it were. So I thought that was a little thing I needed to point out that I didn't mention in my previous video. But hopefully this video is quite informative in trying to determine which seems to be the better machine. Not all of us can afford brand new Mac Pro machines costing £3,000 to £6,000, or new iMac Retina screens. Some of us have to buy the older machines because we don't have a lot of money. And I just wanted to do this video to explain what you can do in terms of buying an older machine. I bought this old iMac about 3 years ago for about £900, which was quite cheap. It's a 2K monitor, and for the most part in the videos I do on YouTube, it has been a workhorse and it's been very reliable. The only problem is it has limited storage. The older Mac Pro that I bought has 4 hard drive bays. So at the moment I am still playing with the idea whether to keep the iMac or sell it, just to pay for the money that I've invested in the Mac Pro. But I thought I'd do a little video to explain and show you the speed differences between an older 2009 model Mac Pro versus a 2013 iMac. Generally speaking, modern computers are quicker and faster, but they cost a lot more as well, keep that in mind. But there's nothing wrong with buying an older system if it'll do the job for you. And if you're new to making videos, I certainly recommend buying some used equipment, because at the end of the day, it's what's inside the machine that counts, not always how it looks on the outside. Right, I thought we would do a comparison between the Mac Pro 2009 versus the iMac 2013. So we're going to compare the export speed in Final Cut Pro 10. So I've got a file to format, which is 302 megabyte in file size, and it's a 2-minute clip with some text that I've put on there. And I just want to see how quickly we can export the video and see which is the quicker for doing that. We've already seen that they're about even in rendering, but it does seem importing video is a bit quicker to render on the Mac Pro. So without a further ado, let's get ready to start the test. So let's go to next. 3, 2, 1, go. Save now. Wow, didn't expect that. I didn't expect a quad-core i5 to beat a 12-core Xeon system. So let's just wait a minute and see how the Mac Pro is doing. We're at 55% approximately. It does seem that the iMac does seem snappier, even though it's not running an SSD drive. The Mac Pro is using an SSD drive, and even so it seems to be a bit on the slow side. So let's just wait and see how long it takes. So there you go. I would estimate that the iMac 2013 with its i5 quad core is at probably twice as fast. You know, leave some comments in the comments box if you think that maybe the test is flawed somehow. But based on these little tests I've been doing, it seems the Mac Pro is faster in some areas but not so in others. So if I was to give you my interpretation in which is the better, I would say it's pretty much even. Well, I've done this test to try and determine which is the better system, and I can see the advantages of the Mac Pro. The extra storage capabilities as well as the graphic card is upgradable, and you can upgrade the processors if you need to. In terms of the iMac, it's all in one. It does seem to be more compact and it's more modern as well. And obviously with the Retina screens that have come out, it is the cheaper way of getting 5K screens as well. In terms of which ones I think I probably would keep, I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest with you. This test, I've almost made my mind up that the Mac Pro was better. However, after looking at the speed of what's been happening in these tests, I'm not entirely sure now. The iMac still is a viable, good system to have. I'm not completely convinced it's going to be fantastic for 4K or 8K video productions. However, it certainly is a viable system for anyone who does want to do HD videos on YouTube or for personal use. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the iMac is a better system? I have noticed a few glitches with the Mac Pro, if I'm absolutely honest with you. I don't know if that's something to do with the SSD drive I've put in it, that there could be a problem with it. What I have found is the DVD player is a bit buggy. I'm not entirely sure why, but it seems to work fine in the iMac. However, when I swapped out the SSD drive in the Mac Pro and put in a standard 7200 RPM hard drive with macOS Syria, I didn't have that issue. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But, you know, let me know what you think. Which would you keep? Which do you think's better? And I hope this video was informative. And have a nice day. Bye bye.